Boom. We live. A minute early. How long will it take before I stop painting and end up looking at, like, Devo time or something?
Yo, let's go. Wait, no.
I feel like at the start of each stream, you know, you can do, like, bit bets. I need to do bets on, like, how long will we actually go? Or when will the painting start? We've got some fire and we've got a boy to go today.
A boy.
A boy! And I'm pretty happy with how... ooh, it's the light turned on. It's not on my actual phone. There we go, you can see better now. Hello, Bashimi! I've already painted the base of my warp fire base. I've gone for like a kind of asphalt, like grit granite. I think it's literally called Astro Granite is like the base I used, the base paint, which makes it all bumpy. And then I like painted, I think Corvus black and then like some grey dry brushing on top to get a nice like
a bit of Corvus.
Yeah, we love a bit of Corvus black. We love a little bit of Crow black.
Yeah. Who would know why I like Corvus black? It's a mystery.
Also, forgive my horrifically diseased looking finger. It's just eczema, but
Oh,
it has been a battle to reduce my eczema since this started appearing. And it's like flared up particularly bad at the moment, so it looks way worse than it is, especially on this camera.
It looks gammy as fuck.
It's just itchy.
Oh yeah.
But also like I've started bringing a hand cream to work, but it's quite hard to like maintain having cream on it at work, so sometimes it gets much worse when I'm working, which is, you know, not great, but what you're gonna do. So we're gonna paint the base, the fire today, and then if I get that done, we will continue on some of the gold on the Heldrake, who I've done like one single coat of gold on most of it, although I've got the rest of it to do. And then a second coat will need to be done because, as you can see, the gold is not the most even. This I don't know if it's... I don't remember it being this thin, but Gehenna's gold, I don't know if they've changed the recipe, like, seems a bit thinner than it used to be. So it hasn't gone on quite as, like, evenly as on my old Chaos Army. But yes, so we'll be doing him. But we're going to be starting with some fire. Fire. Na na na. And I'm looking forward to giving this a go. I'm going to get up some reference pictures to use as well, because I do have some reference pictures. Oh, my keyboard's on the floor. I forgot. Ugh. Heldrake warplane base. Literally, like, the person that sold it has, like, a few different, like, reference pictures of it I'm going to be using. Is it a mecha or a dragon? I genuinely can't tell. Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to large-scale chaos machinery. Is it a machine or is it alive? Who knows? Who knows? Right, so the place we start with is some white. Shaky. I also have, since my last painting stream, I have a massage gun, which is really good at mixing paints. Listen to it rev up.
Cool.
What did you say?
Yes, that's what it's for.
Well, that and my deep muscle aches from standing all day, but wow, that's loud on the glass ink thing. Just sounds like I'm drilling something. And if I put my hand in the way, it's still getting shook, but my hand is absorbing the sound. I don't know if it's more effective than shaking it on something this size. On the paint pots, it's really good. My favourite thing is if I put the massage gun on the back of my neck, it vibrates my eyes. And it's just really weird because just everything becomes blurry because my eyes are literally vibrating.
That doesn't sound healthy.
I'm sure it's fine. I've not had any issues yet. Right, so one annoyance with the warp fire base, and it's not an annoyance with the warp fire base, it's an annoyance of my own incompetence, is it came with like a plug for the chest of the Heldrake, because obviously you don't have the stand. And I put super glue on it and put it in, and then didn't manage to get it in before the super glue dried. So on a couple of bits, the like chest plug is kind of sticking out, and you're not really gonna see it because it's on the underside of the Heldrake. But it just annoys me specifically that the super glue dried too fast. I was desperately trying to cram it in, and it just wasn't happening. Right, so we've got white. Let's do some white. And let's see if I can not completely butcher this. I hope. I pray. What paintbrush do I want? Do I have any bigger paintbrushes? I feel like I'm going to want bigger paintbrushes. 1 second. I am back with a bigger paintbrush. Don't jinx it 10 minutes in. What, me completely ruining the paint job, or? I don't remember what I said. Can't get to a comfy position. Right. I'm going to start off trying to do this with white ink, but may end up changing to a paint if the ink is too runny. But you actually kind of want it to be runny on this because you want it to go into all the like crevices of the fire. The tutorial I watched for painting fire that the guy who made the base did, he didn't specifically do the tutorial with the warp, like the dragon base. He did it with other ones, but it still works. Only he was using a wet palette, so I'm gonna have to try and like not use a wet palette. I hope music is loud enough and not too loud. I've also got to remember, as always, where I'm framed up. I could swap to the other camera, actually, because this phone has a wide-angle lens.
Whoa.
Whoa! But it is quite... it's a bit too wide, and it does the thing where, like, the edges are warped. So, like, my thumb looks huge, but the base looks tiny. So I probably won't be using that angle, that lens And this one just looks nicer, but it is a lot more zoomed in. I could always move the camera back a little bit. I moved it back, but I also moved it higher. Let's just move it back and not higher. How's that? Is that a bit better? Sure. Camera problems are a part of the show at this point. Yeah. Welcome to Blue the Nerd. Okay, how's that? How's that angle? That's good. We'll have that. I'm gonna move the light a little bit as well. So we begin with the white. Let's see how this white ink goes on, because I've not tested it. You know, that's not bad. Whatever material they've printed this with, this paint like sticks to it a lot better than the like base Warhammer plastic. That's sticking to it way better than I thought it would. If anything, a little too well. And that way we can still see the Heldrake screaming. Yeah, he's back there just screaming. And you know we're gonna do that 1-point lighting on the Heldrake. So once he's finished painting normally, I'm gonna put all the like flame glows on his face and maybe some of his claws that are close to the fire so that it looks like the fire is lighting him up. I think that'll look nice. So what are you doing, George?
I have started the next game in the Ratchet & Clank. It is Secret Agent Clank.
Whoa.
It's a PSP game.
PSP game?
Yeah.
Do you have a PSP or are you emulating?
I'm playing it on PS5.
Ah.
Because they recently put it onto PS5.
Nice. Did they like remaster it or just like...
Oh no.
It's got that like... What resolution did the PSP have? Like 540?
Something like that.
Got those tasty PSP graphics on a full big screen. I may have to turn auto white balance off on my phone because it does keep going like weirdly blue and then weirdly yellow. You'd love to see the Metal Gear Solid 3 on PS5, but with the DS graphics. What resolution was the DS screen? Was it the same as the PSP?
Yes. Green resolution.
It can't have been high.
256 by 192.
Damn. That's like lower than I was expecting. I imagine the 3DS was way higher.
The PSP was 480 by 270.
Oh, 480, damn. I was one high in the like resolution scale. The 3DS, I doubt was 720, but
Yeah.
you could watch YouTube on it.
Hmm.
Thing was internet ready. And then, I don't know if the 3DS, what was the big 3DS called? Was it the 3DS,
3DS
XL?
XL? Yeah.
Did they actually increase the resolution on the 3DS XL, or did it just, was it just bigger?
Probably just bigger. .3DS.
3DS
Screen
XL and new
resolution.
3DS have better resolution, do they?
So 800 by 240 was apparently the 3DS,
That's not bad, actually.
and then 3DS XL 400 by 240.
Damn. It was actually more. Turns out more does actually sometimes mean better.
Indeed.
There's a cat hair on this brush somewhere. Oh, where's it gone? So I watched the Junji Ito collection anime.
Mm-hmm.
It was mid. I kind of expected it.
Though?
I haven't started Uzumaki yet. The thing is, Uzumaki has higher reviews.
Oh.
So I mean, it might improve. It might have just been a one-off episode that was a bit rough.
Mm.
But yeah, the Junji Ito collection, some of the episodes were good, but it was kind of more often than not mid.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. I also looked up Junji Ito just as an author, like as a person, and I was expecting to see some like harrowed being with like I was expecting an eccentric look, you know?
Mm.
It's just a dude. He
Yeah.
looks like the most generic Japanese man.
Yeah.
kind of like Hideo Kojima, I guess.
Mm.
Although even Hideo Kojima looks more eccentric.
I'd say it's like fucking Hidetaka Miyazaki, the fucking Dark Souls guy. He just looks like a guy.
Yeah.
Like he just looks like a Japanese dude.
One scene that was quite an infamous scene that I knew of that I didn't know was in the collection, and
Mm.
I could have gone my whole life. I was gonna say I could have gone my whole life without seeing it. I have already seen the manga equivalent, so I couldn't have. But the fucking have you seen the acne scene?
No,
The guy with the spots all over his face.
I have not.
Oh, it's. I mean, you'll probably be better off if you don't look it up, but I can describe it for you.
Mm-hmm.
A guy has spots literally covering like his entire face, and he like pins his sister to the ground, gets on top, and then just squeezes his face,
Ugh.
and just like you just see all of the pus like oozing down.
Oh.
It's grim. Am I going to be whipping out the airbrush for this one? I'll probably use it for some of the glow effects on the Heldrake, but most of the actual fire I'm going to be doing with a brush. Because there's so many intricate, small, detailed bits here that airbrushing it all would be a nightmare. You think you have trypophobia, so you never really looked at this thing, Junji Ito's art? Yeah, there's a lot of trypophobia in Junji Ito's art. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. But I am intrigued to watch Uzumaki, but I'm going to wait till it's finished.
Mm.
And then my expectations will be set by the reactions of the finished anime. Or, you know, maybe I should avoid looking at any reactions so that I assume that it's as bad as episode 2, and then be pleasantly surprised if it's not.
Mm.
one of my colleagues is really into Junji Ito, so I was just bullying them about it.
Mm.
I was like, oh, I didn't know that Naruto got a new spin-off anime. I think instead of Boruto, the sequel to Naruto, we should have got Minato.
Yeah, a prequel series about Minato? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Give me them Naruto prequels.
I mean, my fucking, I loved the like the prequel filler of like Indra and Asher. That shit was cool.
Mm-hmm. I loved all of the prequel stuff, in all honesty. Literally all of it. A lot of the backstories were all just really cool.
Mm.
But I loved Minato and Obito and Kakashi's whole thing.
Yeah.
It was very fun. I'd love just the adventures of that group.
Mm.
Oh no! The ink ran. Slightly ruined my base there. I was wondering if I was going to regret painting it before I did the fire or not. And the answer has now been answered. Oh, I forgot to get any tissue as well. One of the things I meant to grab. But that's done. Right, that's been whited up. I'll be right back. I'm back. I've managed to give myself like a paper cut on my other hand somehow. Fuck this shit. I want to show about some schmuck whose town kept being ravaged by the broody and unstable main cast of ninjas. Isn't that just pain? Isn't that just the plot of Pain? Was just some dude whose village got invaded? Pretty much. I'm gonna have to repaint the base. That's annoying. But it's fine. I might go over it with a bit more of the like gravel anyway, thicken up some of the gravel. So that's fine. It's fine. Sudden Pokemon music. Oh, my hand really stings. A cabbage guy equivalent of Naruto.
Yeah, I literally thought that fucking the cabbage merchant
Who's the cabbage merchant?
from Avatar.
Oh.
Not my cabbages.
Right, so now we gotta let this dry a bit before I can really start adding the other colours, but white. So the order of colours is basically going to be white, yellow, orange, red, like dark red, grey, basically. So it's going to be like the white is going to be the hot bit coming straight out of the mouth, and then it gradients down into red, and then plumes out into like greys for the smoke. In fact, I can show you exactly what I mean with this. Ta-da! This is the exact photo that I am referencing. So hopefully I can achieve that. Hopefully. But we shall see. But for now, I let this dry. I'm still slightly annoyed about the base, but it is what it is. It won't take me that long to go over it with like even more gravel, even more astro granite, and then more corvus. Corvus! So while we wait for that to dry, I'm going to use the massage gun to mix up this yellow that I had issues with before and really give it a mixing. Just really absolutely mix it. There we go. You can barely hear that. You can kind of hear it, but it's not too bad. Is the base crackly or is it the cam? What do you mean by crackly? Like, so the oops, I grabbed the white. I used a paint called Astro Granite, which has like a texture to it. So it's like kind of rough. It's meant to look kind of like tarmac or like, you know, rough like granite or stone. Some people are insanely good at making Astro Granite bases, and I don't know how. I wouldn't have thought it would be that hard. And mine looks good, but some of them just look insane. Today, blue lobotomizes paint tubes. Let me look up Astro Granite. Yeah. That's not enough. Astro Granite. Let's see if there are any examples of people painting this really well. Here you go. It's quite similar to how I did it actually. But you can really like thicken it up and goop it up to add texture. You don't have to have it like just a consistent even coat. You can have it quite thick. But I do, there you go, here's an example of it looking really good. They've done it really thick. So maybe I'll thicken mine up a bit more, add some more of it on. But yeah, I do love the 40k like texture paints. Although the one thing with them is you use quite a lot and you get through it really fast compared to normal Warhammer paints. Because obviously with normal Warhammer paints you don't use very much and you also quite often water them down. Whereas with their like technical texture paints, you really goop that shit on.
Yeah, I had like a dirt brown one that like cracked and all that. And because I think I got it in like it was the start of Age of Sigmar, and there was like a magazine that you got like you could build a Stormcast, and then it gave you the paints for it, including that, and
nice.
That was some good shit.
Yeah, I've had Armageddon Dust, which is like similar to this one but brown. The cracking ones are really cool because you can do some really good like magma with them.
Yeah.
Like the crusty stone on top of lava type thing. But yeah, they're slightly more expensive than normal Warhammer paints and they last way less. But some people are insanely good at using this. There's a couple of the cracking ones that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Some people are just insanely good at doing them. Do we think that this paint has been vibrated for long enough yet?
Absolutely not.
I think you're right. My hand vibrating looks really weird on the camera. Hang on. Because it's like... obviously the frame rate is different to the... It looks like it's vibrating way slower on camera than it actually is. That's weird. It looks like my hand's got like interpolation on it.
Yeah. That's actually a really good way to describe it.
It looks like a badly CGI hand, yeah. What does
Hand
this
vibrations
that
at
look
60
like?
FPS. Upscaled.
Yeah, that looks really weird as well. What does it look like on the other camera? Still not like... I mean, that looks like it's going to get me demonetized. Is it dry enough yet? No, not really. It's looking good though. Already. Maybe I just leave it like that. Tell you what I could do. Yes, shortcuts, nothing bad ever happens in art because of those. What do you mean? What shortcut? Like mixing my paint faster? What I could do is while we wait, I could do some of the extra Astro Granite. Just goop it up a little bit more. Not waiting for paint to fully dry. Oh. I mean, I'm gonna wait for it to fully dry. So you can see what I mean by the paint is like gritty. Like what I'm thinking is maybe I don't want to actually goop it up like under the smoke because I don't want it to look like it's connected to the smoke because the smoke is meant to be on top of the ground at the end of the day because it's smoke. But let's just do some extra gooping of it. Erase all of my lovely painting that I did. cat hair infestation, you know it. The curse of living with a ragdoll. It might look like this brush is absolutely fucked, by the way, but as soon as I put this in water, it just washes right out of the brush. As long as I don't let it like dry into the brush, it's fine. God, only Darren Korb could make a theremin go this hard. There you go, that was a quick look at Astro Granite. And then obviously when that's dry, I'll go over it in like greys and do some dry brushing. Theremin, there's a theremin. Yeah, the synthy sound. Is that not a theremin? Going woo in the song. It's a theremin, right? Sure sounds like one.
Probably.
The ghost noise.
Yeah. I think it is.
Classic alien noise.
Mhm.
Did you know the theremin was one of the first ever synthesizers invented?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was invented like fucking ages ago. Like, if you had to guess when the theremin was invented, what would your guess be?
I would have guessed like 60s.
60s? Mate.
Like before you were like it was invented really early. Like without any prior information, I'd have guessed 60s.
Bashimi also said 60s. No, the theremin was invented in the 1920s.
Damn.
Which, fucking insane. When you think, like, when was the first synthesizer made? 1952. The theremin predates that by 30 years.
Damn.
Insane. And also, the first synthesizer took up like a fucking massive amount of space. Look at this thing. Huge. Humongous.
Jesus.
Just to play the keyboard. Just to make a keyboard go beep boop. To think that that thing probably makes like less sounds than a single sample pack you could get for free on like Reaper would make now. Madness. This is madness. No. This is synthesizer. Boo. Trying to get all the different like views of this Warpfire base for inspo. You caught a lizard today? Nice. Did you name it Mark?
Oh, it took me a second to realise the joke there.
Mark the Zuck Burger Master.
Yeah, the Burger Master of Village of is actually Mark. Little secret bit of information there for you.
Mm-hmm. Give him the Zuck. Idiot got boxed, then released because my cats are insane. Why are your cats insane, bro? Get more sane cats. This white won't dry. Right, well, while we wait for that to dry, here's one I made earlier. No. Let's do some gold, shall we? Get a hairdryer? Nah. That'll be too noisy. Let me get out my massage gun to mix some paints again. See, that's not too bad. Boo, 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 boo. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
2.
2?
2.
2 wood?
2.
Like a small portable. Ah, yes, Bushimi. Let me just go out and buy. Let me just go out and buy a hairdryer. This Warpfire base, by the way, surprisingly cheap considering it's like basically a home printed. Like this dude just to order 3D prints these bases that he hand modeled. It was like £25. And then imported. I can't remember what postage was, but it wasn't too bad. I think the gold is probably mixed enough now. The gold doesn't take as much mixing as this yellow inevitably will. I did see someone somewhere recommend to store the fluorescent paints upside down as well, so I might try. Because I don't have anywhere I can put them upside down that they'll stay. Because the lids aren't exactly the most balancy shapes. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna have to 3D print some like holders for them. The hardest part about the Heldrake, especially considering I built it before I painted it like a imbecile, is wherever I hold it while painting an area will slowly rub the paint off of that area. So like, I can show you underneath. I painted it solid black and you can see where the black's like wearing off while I've been painting it, and like on the wings and stuff. So I know for a fact that wherever I paint it gold, I'm gonna have to do like 3 or 4 coats because I'm gonna be wearing the gold off as I go, which is very, very helpful and very, very convenient. All of this white is like pooling at the bottom. I mean, that makes sense, that's how gravity works, but the bottom's meant to be the darkest part. It's still surprisingly translucent when I hold it up to light. Hopefully it doesn't lose too much of that while painting it, because you still want it to be slightly translucent, because that helps it like look like it's glowing from within. Ah, if I was smart I would have put a light inside it. That would be amazing. Some LEDs in there. I've seen some amazing like flamethrower markers that people made, like to the scale of the Warhammer markers, but they're like cotton with lights inside, and they've like painted them so it looks like a glowing like thing of metal and smoke. Yeah. But they're also like to scale with the Warhammer markers. It's very cool. Just doing a red fire or a funky color. Yeah, just like the kind of orange, like white into yellow into red type. I could have done like a fun like green gout, but that is too much effort, and I also don't have any fluorescent greens. Because the fluorescent paints really make the fire look more like it's glowing. Is the torch actually on my phone? No, I swear I turned that on a minute ago. Oh, it might have turned off when I changed... did it turn off when I changed lens? Yeah, okay, that'll be why. Maybe... E.
E.
E. E. E. E. E. So Logitech collaborated with Meta and recently released a VR stylus that you can like pair with your headset, and it like tracks it properly and everything, and you can use it as a stylus.
Really cool.
But I don't really know what it's for. Because if you're drawing in the air, you could probably just use a controller, to be honest, and I don't really know why you'd be drawing in the air. And it's got a pressure sensitive nib, so you can draw on surfaces, but if you're drawing on a surface, you might as well just use a graphics tablet. So I don't really know what space it's filling. I guess you can draw on surfaces. You can go into AR mode and like physically draw in places and use it for like brainstorming. I don't know. I get that I'm like not the target demographic and some people might think it's amazing, but I genuinely want to know what those people would use it for. I'm sure there's someone out there that's like, I actually use I use VR exclusively as my tool for 3D modeling, and this stylus is actually the greatest invention to ever come out. And like, you know, if that's the case and someone actually uses it for an artistic purpose and it's genuinely helpful, amazing. I just want to actually know. I'm genuinely curious. And also it's not supported by arguably the most advertised headset for creativity, which is the Quest Pro. Its whole thing was like industry use, but because they're discontinuing the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro, they didn't bother to add support for the stylus to the Quest Pro. But they added support for the stylus on the Quest 2. So I don't understand. Although I did learn that on the Quest there's just a whole ass like architecture design app, which is kind of interesting. Like an actual industry used like architectural design app, not just like a fun little experiment. So that's quite cool. I could see VR being really good for like organic 3D sculpting.
Yeah.
But then being like a massive hindrance to precision sculpting or like, you know, CAD or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So completely useless to me, because everything I do is like, I'm so bad at organic shapes when it comes to making 3D models. I'm all about them like, give me them precision calculated lines, baby. But there is a plugin for Blender that lets you use it in VR, and I have been curious. Sure, but it does sound like another cool new tech thing that doesn't really add or solve anything. Yeah, pretty much. But that has kind of felt like, other than just the actual headsets themselves, that feels like all Meta's really done in the last, like, 5-10 years. Although there's been some new advancements on their AR glasses, and I'm actually kind of stoked. They look goofy as heck at the stage they're at. Like, the Zuck posted a picture of him wearing them, and they look goofy. But their control system's really interesting. In that you wear a bracelet, and it reads micro muscle movements that your body does by moving fingers. So you pinch different fingers and move different hands around, and the bracelet reads the micro muscle movements and like electrical signals to know what gestures you're doing without you having to wear anything other than the bracelet, and it's like functional. And Meta have released a statement basically saying that their goal is that, like, in the future you won't even have to actually move your fingers, you'll just be able to think about moving them, which is
fucking...
what are you gonna say?
What's this fucking Sword Art Online shit? I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, I forgot to tell Leo that... dropped my keyboard. Forgot to tell Leo I was going live. Meta's bullshit ads are still very funny to this day. Well, like the whole metaverse advertising. I am glad they moved away from the metaverse though, because that was shit. It was a shit idea, it was a shit plan, and it was never going to go anywhere. And it was only actively hindering the adoption of of VR. So I'm glad they moved away from that, because it was bad. It was bad. But like, let me get up these Meta AR glasses, because they're goofy, but like in the future they won't be. Give me the picture of the Zuck wearing them. There it is. Like, they're chunky. They're goofy and they're chunky, but like when they actually release, I'm sure they'll be more sleek, and the goal is that you'll end up just looking like you're wearing normal glasses, right? But they are a bit goofy right now. They also had to delay them because they, I think, announced that they wanted them to be ready in 2024, like late 2024, and they are not ready. So they delayed them. I'm like, yeah, we'll release them later on, but we're still working on them. But I genuinely do actually expect Meta to release these, and for these to become a finished product that are functional and work. Because when it comes to VR, Meta is actually doing shit. You know, the Quest 3 is still the best priced headset for the features it has. And they're releasing the Quest 3, I can't remember what it's called, Quest 3S, but it's Quest 3 Lite, come on. Which is like, it doesn't have as good lenses or as good a display. It's got the Quest 2 lenses and display, but it has the processing power of the Quest 3. And it's like £300, which is still insane for what it does. Like, I don't know. I know that it's literally, they're one of the richest companies in the world, and they have their prices set this low so that they can, like, maintain one of the largest market shares of VR. But at the end of the day, their competitive pricing is making VR less expensive as a whole, and they're actually releasing really good headsets for cheap. So
What's this?
I don't know. I'm talking about Meta. Because I was looking at their AR glasses, and they look goofy, and I'm like, they do look goofy, but I'm sure when they're ready to be released, or in the future, they'll be sleeker and look like actual glasses. But they were delayed because they were meant to be like more prepared to release in 2020, like end of 2024, and they're not, so they've delayed them. But I do genuinely think it's a project they'll finish, because Meta actually kind of finishes their like hardware when it comes to VR and AR, because they have like one of the biggest market shares on it. And if Meta does successfully release some really good AR glasses that actually work and look like normal glasses, then that's going to be a huge step towards like adoption of it and other companies trying to do the same thing. So it could be big. It could be a big moment. Or it could be the Quest Pro and no one will buy it and it will completely flop and it will just like set VR back a few years. Who knows? We'll find out when it releases. But I, for one, am excited for the future of VR. The Quest 3 and the Quest 3S are still like insane when it comes to the level of technology you have and the price that you can get them for. What was that?
Nothing.
It sounded like you just like leant away from the microphone and just ah.
Ah!
It sounded like someone in the next room over stubs their toe. Just thump. Didn't we have the almost exact same conversation about the weird Apple VR thing? The difference is, Bashimi, because yeah, we did have the same conversation about Apple VR being huge. The difference is that Apple, being Apple, sold the VR headset for the same amount as my car. And no one is prepared to pay that much, even for Apple, really. So it never was going to see any kind of mass adoption. Whereas if Meta create AR glasses and try and release them, they're probably going to be like at most £600, if not less. Because the whole thing with Meta is that they sell all of their VR headsets at a loss so that as many people buy them as possible. Because they make up all their money on like software sales. Which is a pretty solid strategy, to be fair. But I would definitely see their AR glasses being more popular and successful than Apple Vision Pro. Personally. But who knows? The future is not written and things can go any direction. And it could completely flop and we could never see any good AR glasses ever. But I hope that's not the case. On the flip side, we're getting Apple AI soon.
Oh.
And the iPhone that I have that's being used for filming right now, I was told it has been built from the ground up with Apple AI in mind. And I know that that's bullshit because it's an iPhone and it's almost identical to the last like 6 iPhones. But even still, I'm kind of intrigued. Some of the features sound interesting, and some of the features I'm like, I don't care. You know, like, a few features I don't really care about. Image generation.
Yeah.
but it's got it's going to have image generation like built into the Notes app,
Oh.
so that while taking notes you can generate images like relating to your notes, which is kind of interesting. There's going to be more AI built into like Siri to make her more functional and less useless. They're supposedly going to have like AI camera stuff, so you can like scan objects, kind of like Google already does with Google Lens, where you can like look at objects. But one of the things they were advertising when I was buying the phone was like you can point it at a shop front, like you could go to a restaurant.
Yeah, I saw about that.
Yeah, and it will like, if you go to a restaurant, point it at the restaurant, it will give you their menu, or like it will tell you what products the shop sells and like things like that.
Oh, that's not what I heard. The thing of like, you point it at like your cupboards or your fridge, and then it scans what's in there and basically builds a recipe from it.
Oh, I didn't hear that, but that's interesting. No, supposedly you'll be able to literally like point it at a shop and it will give you info about that shop.
Oh.
Which does actually sound useful. Anyone who uses visibility aids that aren't lenses can't use meta glasses. Currently, yeah. But as with VR, you can get prescription lens inserts, and also with glasses. By the aren't lenses, I thought you meant aren't contact lenses. You may well just mean like lenses in general, like glasses lenses. In which, yeah, if you use a visibility aid that isn't a glasses lens, you probably wouldn't be able to use it with the meta glasses. But if your vision impairment is like, you just need a very, very strong prescription, usually these kinds of products will have something for that. Like the Apple Vision Pro, which forces you to get prescription inserts because it can't fit glasses, and the prescription inserts cost like $100 more on top of your already $3,500 headset. And they wonder why no one bought it. They had an Apple Vision Pro in the Apple store near where I live, and I was really tempted to ask if I could try it on. But I didn't. I refrained. I just bought a phone instead. But the camera's good, and that's all I really wanted. Because Lord knows the camera on my old phone was a bit dated. Just a bit. Oh, also having a faster processor, like, you get used to having a slow phone, but then you upgrade and you're like, my god, how was I living? How was I living with what I had before? You meant the I need to have something to my face 24/7 type of aid? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, you have to hold it up to your face, or... Glasses. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we talk about contact lens the same way, so I use the wrong words. Like, glasses, you would be fine. Like, if you needed prescription glasses with things like the AR glasses, you would be fine. They usually have things that accommodate that. Like, you can get prescription AR glasses. I'm pretty sure even the Google Glass had something like that, but I might be wrong. But, like, you can get prescription lenses for VR headsets. if anything, a successful pair of AR glasses that have the intention of like controlling your phone and showing you things from your phone would actually make it easier for people with visual impairments to use their phone. Didn't I don't know if you'll have heard this. I think Neuralink, you know, Elon Musk, the company that I definitely trust with putting an implant in my brain,
sure.
said something along the lines of with Neuralink you'll be able in like 10 years you'll be able to just learn a new language. And while that would be amazing, I don't know that I believe him. And also, RIP anybody that dedicates years of their life to learning languages, like, as a career. Like, to be interpreters or translators or anything. Because if it did happen, it would just be like, yeah, fuck you guys. Anyone can learn a language. Let me see. Where was it? I can't find it. There we go. Elon is saying that we are 5 to 10 years away from Neuralink being able to substitute language. Just substitute language?
What the fuck?
As in what, you just communicate via Neuralink? That's even more horrifying. I like that even less now. I didn't think... I thought he was saying that language learning would be obsolete, not language would be obsolete.
Language itself.
That's fucked. God, dude is trying to turn us into the Protoss. Well, call me Zenyatta because I will be cutting my link. Unless the Zerg turn up. If the Zerg turn up, then maybe things will be different.
Brother. That's Tyranid's totally different thing.
Definitely, totally legally distinct. What were the StarCraft Space Marines called?
I thought they were just. I thought it was just the humans.
Is it? But they've got
Like,
dudes in power armor like Space Marines. I'm pretty sure those units have a name.
Human unit. Terrans.
They're basically
StarCraft
just
Terran unit.
They're basically just straight up Space Marines.
Marines. They're just Marines.
Elon has been saying we're 1 year away from autonome cars. I'm guessing you mean like autonomous cars. Since 2017. Yeah, I know. He's been making that promise for a long time. That one is quite funny. But though, to be fair, we do have self-driving cars. And like in LA, you can book and get in a self-driving taxi and go somewhere. Like that is a thing you can do. Those things exist. So, you know, we're not self-driving cars. I think I just had a stroke. What was I gonna do? I was gonna look up what are StarCraft Space Marines called?
They're just called Marines.
Are they?
Yeah. Like, there's different types of Marines. There's like, but they're not called anything specific.
They're
just like
Marines.
healer and firebat and stuff like that.
That's somehow funnier.
But there's no like special name for the dudes in armor.
Yeah. But like, let's look at these. Tell me these aren't just a Space Marine ripoff. Like, these are even more of a Space Marine ripoff than like Halo is. If you told me that Blizzard literally just stole the Space Marines and stole the Tyranids, like, I would believe you. StarCraft Zerg, look at these guys. These are just Tyranids.
What does that make the Protoss? Protoss the Tau?
Tau, I guess? They are blue.
They are blue.
Like the weird utopic, like, communist aliens. It's the Tau. What other races do you have in StarCraft?
I just know of those three, the Terrans, the Protoss, and the Zerg.
Are there any others?
Not of note, at least. Because those are like the three factions that you can play of, at least in 2.
Terran, Protoss, Zerg, the fourth race.
Oh, great.
I don't know that this is official. The fourth race contest. 3 years ago on Reddit. Yeah, I don't think there is a fourth race. I mean, obviously you've got like the sub factions.
Oh yeah.
Like the Protoss, you have. I was gonna say the Zentarim.
Yeah, no, that is immediately where my first thought went as well.
Not the Zentarim. But you got like the main Protoss, and then you've got I've forgotten his name now. The green one, him.
It began with a Z.
It did.
It began with ZE. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He was one of my Zeratul.
Zeratul.
He was one of my fucking mains in Heroes of the Storm. I played loads of Zeratul.
Man, I miss Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm didn't get enough credit.
No.
Best MOBA, don't at me.
Oh, no, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree.
One of those opinions, like, League fans are gonna petrol bomb my house now.
I've got a load of my uni friends who started playing League again. I'm like, why would you do this?
Yeah, I mean, at least play Dota.
It's like, they've asked me multiple times to join them, and I was like, dude, I deleted that shit off my PC. Never going back.
It's amazing how long League has been going for and is still one of the biggest games. But then I guess I could say the same about World of Warcraft. Or Overwatch, definitely a unique game.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not Overwatch 1.5.
Mm-hmm. With the My Hero collab.
Oh, hell yeah. Just what we needed, Overwatch becoming Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. It's not even the first anime collab they've done.
No. There's a new Diablo 4 DLC coming out as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're adding a new class.
Oh.
I've still not played Diablo 4.
Still not played Diablo 4.
The last good Diablo game was obviously Diablo Immortals.
Of course.
Don't you people have phones? The ironic thing, the irony of him being like, don't you people have phones, when they all booed it being a mobile game, and then proceeded to just shit out one of the worst mobile games that has ever hit the mobile scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people were rightfully angry when it was announced. Is the flame dry? Nope. No, it is not. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Blizzard at this point are going to have to do something pretty big to get me back.
Mm.
Like, if they announced Heroes of the Storm was returning,
Yeah.
then maybe. Maybe. Because did they take the server? I'm pretty sure they took the whole game down, right? They took the servers down.
I don't think the servers are down. I think they're
they
just
not?
kind of dead.
For some reason, I thought they'd killed it. That was a weird one, because I feel like it was really popular, and then, like, everybody all at the same time just stopped playing it.
Mm.
And I feel like there wasn't really a catalyst. Actually, to be fair, it might have been all the scandals and allegations going around. Might have been a big factor, but I can't remember if it happened before then or not.
I think I heard Heroes, like, people would saying Heroes kind of died before all the fucking shit with Blizzard.
Yeah. What did you use? I've seen the thickest pasta sauces dry faster. It was ink. Acrylic white ink. It's like all of the bits some of the bits sat pooling in the crevices are like not drying very fast. Like, I'll show you. It's like in there. It's not drying. Maybe if I hold it upside down, it'll drain out and then dry in more of the cracks up top. But the Astrogranite base is drying. even chunkier. But it's fine, I'm having fun painting the Heldrake, to be honest. He needs it. This guy takes a long time to paint. A long time and a lot of effort. Oh, my hands are dry. I don't want to go put cream on them though, to like, because I get cream all over my models. But I'm itching. I'm itchy. Also, we're moving into winter, so my general eczema's gonna start getting worse as well. Which is probably why it's been that finger went so bad. I've never had eczema there before though. Genuinely, I think moving to Plymouth caused it. Don't cream on the models. That's what the jar's for. Ooh, I know something we can talk about.
Oh?
The fucking Lord of the Rings anime that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Which I am legitimately actually stoked about. The art style was giving, like, Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Mm.
And it's got, I think she's only like a voiceover for occasionally telling the story, but it's got the actual actress for Eowyn in it.
Yeah.
And we're getting Rohan lore, who I feel like the Rohans get so neglected when it comes to like Lord of the Rings history media. It's always fucking not Isengard. Gondor. Like the Dunedain and Aragorn's line get all the glory. But what about Rohan? What about Rohan? Theoden King has fallen! I'm gonna have to elaborate what on Lord of the Rings anime. Shall we watch the trailer? Would that make you happy, Bashimi? Is that what you want? We should do a stream where we play the Lord of the Rings RTS at some point.
I am terrible at RTS.
I mean, I'm also not good at RTSs. We'll do co-op against an AI. I think you should be goblins.
Obviously.
We'll both just be goblins. Goblin Rush.
Goblins, the Zerg of Lord of the Rings.
You got whiplashed by the phrase Lord of the Rings anime. Well, Bashimi, you are in for a treat. We're gonna watch the trailer now. It genuinely looks good. I'm genuinely stoked. Oh, that was loud. Let's also pause Skyrim music for a second. Wasn't there a very old one that was an adaptation of the books? Oh, you mean the actual Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, like, cartoon films? That were animated by the same studio that did The Last Unicorn? Yeah, those were a thing. They were in, like, the 80s. We don't talk about those. This is still loud. Oh, this music is so getting this video copyright struck. To be fair, the whole trailer will. Every single one of my streams gets a copyright strike when I upload them to YouTube. It happens every time. I'm like, no, it's reactionary. It counts. It's fair use. I mean, it is fair use.
The War of the Ring, but 200 years before that,
This genuinely looks good.
there was an older tale.
Why does this actually look good?
We come with an offer to strengthen Rohan.
Hera, daughter of Helm, I, Wolf, seek your hand in marriage.
I only found out about this because Games Workshop is already doing
I do not want to marry
one of the
you.
main characters as a mini.
You do not seek an alliance. You seek a throne. You will live to regret this, old man.
Yeah, I can definitely see the like Byron
You will
and
pay for this with your
Mhm.
life.
and a
It's got a bit of
vibe to it.
Castlevania in there as well.
Yes.
The boy I knew would never wish for war.
The boy you knew is gone.
Yeah, Bashimi just said that as well. It's giving Castlevania the style. Yeah.
I pledged to fight for my king.
You know nothing of war.
Also,
I'm the
the
fastest
something
one you
about the
have.
animation feels slightly older anime.
Mm.
Need hope
I don't know what it is, but
to
it's
believe in.
it's making me think of like old school Ghibli, but not the art style, just how it's animated.
My joy. You could rule the world. You think I am afraid of you?
I'm genuinely looking forward to this.
Should be.
Because the Rohans are so cool as well. The Rohirrim are just so fucking cool.
What does Mordor want with rings?
What would Mordor want with rings? God. Yes. I really hope it does well because I also want there to be more Lord of the Rings anime. Especially, like, Lord of the Rings Middle-earth lore anime. Give me more of that, please. I want more Lord of the Rings, like, lore content than just the Rings of Power. It feels like the Witcher animated movie. I still need to watch that.
Yeah, I know.
Is it called The White Wolf? It's about Vesemir, isn't it?
Mm.
Boo, 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 boo. I can't remember how old Vesemir is meant to be. He's like in his 80s, I think. He's really old anyway, because witches don't really age. Well, they kind of do, but they kind of don't. Like, no one knows how old a witcher can live because they all get killed by monsters before they die of old age.
Yeah.
That was another weird change in the show versus the books. They discuss like putting Ciri through the trials and like making her into a witcher, but in the books it's like not really a discussion because only men can do it. I don't know why the lore reason is, but no girls have like ever survived the trials.
Mm.
So it like wasn't even a we'll try putting Ciri through these things. It was like, no, Ciri is even if Ciri was male, she is way too important to risk on these trials.
Yeah.
You won't spoil, but just watch it. It's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to. It's one of those things that I kept intending to and then just never getting around to.
Like me playing The Witcher 3.
I never finished The Witcher 3.
Mm. I barely started The Witcher 3.
I was streaming it.
Yeah.
How many hours did I put into that game? Let's find out. To Steam.
Yeah, I was... Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I have 4 hours.
I have 42 hours. But even then, I don't think I was even halfway through it. I'd like barely scratched the surface. I should really finish it. I'll finish it on stream at some point. I think the ray tracing update's out, so I can make it look really pretty. Oh no, I bumped my camera. I bumped my camera, George! Whatever will I do? Master Skywalker! There's too many of them! What are we gonna do? Not that kid having less emotion than not me, not Hermione.
You.
Is it about Vesemir, Bashimi? You can spoil at least that. I'm pretty sure it's about Vesemir. You know what else I actually do kind of want to watch, even though I know it's not good, but I just want to experience it for myself? Star Wars Acolyte.
Fair.
Just everyone says it's bad. Like everybody. And season 2 got cancelled. But
See, the thing is, I have only really heard it's bad from the, like, fucking uber stickler Star Wars nerds.
I've just heard, even from not those people, that, like, in terms of actual quality and plot, it's just not good. Like, Ash, for example, isn't a massive uber Star Wars nerd, and they were like, yeah, it's just not great. And apparently the main villain gives off really big, like, nonce vibes.
Oh.
Like, he's really creepy with one of the main characters when she's, like, underage. But it's also about, like, space witches. But, it like, from what I've heard, plays on needing a lot of former knowledge of background Star Wars lore without actually, like, teaching you any of it. It just goes on the assumption that you know all of this, like, background Star Wars lore.
Fair enough.
Which I feel like Ahsoka also did. But then you also had, you know, the, like, alt-right, like, it's too woke. It's bad because woke. And, like, I don't give a shit. Give me woke shows. I watched the new season of Heartstopper, and it was fucking incredible. Love that woke shit. It's like the Book of Boba Fett being low-key Mandalorian season 2.5. The Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi both suffered from the same thing, which was they were meant to be movies, and then some Disney exec decided, like, partway into production and writing that they should actually instead be shows. So they suddenly had to pad out what was meant to be, like, 2.5 hours worth of movie into like 6 episodes. Because both would have worked way better as films. It's like in the Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian gets like literally 2 entire episodes of just him.
Yeah.
And the reason is obviously that because it was meant to be a movie, it would have literally been like half an hour of Mandalorian content. But then it's like, ah, shit, this is a series now. We've got to do more with that. And Kenobi was the same. Like, it was so padded out and full of filler that the best way to actually consume Kenobi is a fan edit where someone turned it into a film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually good. Like, I watched it and had a better time than when I watched the series. Also, slight spoilers, but you know how Obi-Wan faces off against Darth Vader?
Mm-hmm.
In the fan edit movie, the music is what it should have been from the very beginning. It's Duel of Fates.
Of course.
Why whoever directed it decided that it shouldn't be Duel of Fates, I will never understand. Because how are you gonna have an Obi-Wan versus Anakin duel and not play the Obi-Wan versus Anakin music?
Mm-hmm.
Makes me angry. It makes me angry. I don't want to be that guy that gets angry over Star Wars, but it makes me angry. This is what happens when George Lucas stops being involved. Doesn't the Kenobi show have editing problems at times, like the timing becoming shit and stuff? Yeah, like, just the pacing is really off. Again, it's because it was supposed to be a movie, but you'll just have scenes where, like, a conversation is going to start, but instead of just the conversation happening, you have a guy, like, get up and walk over to him for, like, 15 seconds, and it's like, why am I watching this? Or... oh god, I'm getting started now, but the fucking Princess Leia chase scene... God, that scene is bad.
I'll be honest, I don't remember it.
So Princess Leia gets chased by these dudes trying to kidnap her.
Yeah.
And the kid isn't very good at running, and they really shouldn't have got a kid that's not very good at running to do a chase scene. But there's moments where, like, she ducks under a branch, and the guy chasing her is like, gee, a knee-height branch. I guess I have been thwarted. Like, hang on, we're gonna watch it now. We're gonna watch it, because it's just, it annoys me. And I just want you to take note of, like, all of the things going on in the background that's, like, that don't make sense. What I typed in Princess Leia, and the first scene that came up was the first thing that came up in the text bar thing, search bar, was bikini.
Oh.
So, you know, I shouldn't be surprised. Right, let's watch this scene again. I'm immediate copyright strike.
Hello, princess.
Why are you here?
Just waiting
For what?
for you.
Like, just watching the extras is the main thing here, because it's just... First of all, how are they not faster than a child? Why did one of them dart off up to the side when they were gaining on her? Look, it's fucking... oh no, a waist-high branch!
God damn it!
Oh no, a chest-high branch! These are meant to be, like, elite bounty hunters.
Oh no, a tree.
And then after all that, she just gets caught. Just after all that, she just gets caught. That scene should have been, she gets surrounded, they catch her. But because they had so much extra time to pad, so that's one of the scenes that's fixed in the movie version. It's she gets surrounded by the three of them and then just gets caught. The weirdest chase scene ever. It really is. It really is, Bashimi. Someone directed that. Someone edited that, and then someone went, "Yes, it is ready," and released it to the public.
I mean, I feel like it was like Disney execs being like, "Yes, it is ready."
Yeah. Genuinely. Like, some editor was not paid. Like, the cinematographer and, like, choreographer, not paid enough. The person who edited it, not paid enough. Like, it was clearly rushed. People weren't given enough time or enough pay. And then some exec was like, "It's gotta go out tomorrow. You haven't even started rendering it yet."
The exec that quote unquote approved it paid too much.
Mm-hmm. The board of directors paid way too much.
Disney paid too much.
Oh. But yeah, so Lord of the Rings anime. Look forward to that. Fucking eventually, when it one day is ready to be released, when Henry Cavill is like, it is time. Fucking 40k series. God, I'm looking forward to that. I need that in my life. I need it in my life. You've ruined my holiday. That just, it comes back to mind every now and then now. It's just become a part of me.
I'd be worried if that's become a part of you. Like, going by the context of it.
Bold
I'd be a
nonce
little
will live
worried.
on forever through me. It's just a part of British culture, that, isn't it? National treasure, bold nonce. Right up there with, like, Tom Daly. Tom Daly and fucking Ian Beale.
I've got nothing left.
I've got nothing left. Here's your crackers and crumbs, now go edits. Yeah, that sums up Kenobi, to be honest. There were some really good moments in it. There were some things I really enjoyed. When he's having his face off with Darth Vader and he like smashes off part of the helmet and the voice is like crackling between James L. John. James L. John? The fuck?
James L. John.
James L. Jones and Hayden Christensen. That's a really good scene. The weird, like, old man Anakin flashbacks. Not great. Was that in, actually, was that in Kenobi or was that in Ahsoka? That was in Ahsoka, I think.
I mean, there was some flashbacks as well in Kenobi.
Yeah. They just, like, didn't de-age Hayden Christensen. And obviously he has aged, but he was playing young Anakin. It was just a bit weird. what other Star Wars shows slash films slash stuff have we had that was good? I've not watched Bad Batch yet. They should give us some Dooku's Descent into the Dark Side content. They should, but also he is dead. Like, the actor that played Dooku is dead.
Yeah, Christopher Lee.
The fucking mad lad that is Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee had the most insane life.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, was essentially a special agent in the war. Started a metal band. His cousin, I think, wrote James Bond.
I can't remember if Ian Fleming was his cousin or something.
I'm pretty sure they were related.
Probably, and like he was
The inspiration.
Christopher Lee was like the inspiration for James Bond.
Yeah. He met Tolkien,
Yeah.
and Tolkien said that he would cast him as Gandalf, or he told Tolkien that he wanted to be cast as Gandalf, and then was Saruman.
He attended the last execution in France, the last public execution.
Just wild, just insane. I reckon he's not actually dead. I reckon he's pulling a Dark Knight 3 Bruce Wayne right now, and he's just in Italy. Saruman the Mad Lad.
Saruman the Mad Lad.
We did that at the same time. He wasn't that old when he went, was he? He was like in his 70s?
Christopher Lee. He was... Oh, he was 93.
Oh, was he? The fuck? He did not look it. That's insane. I thought he was like kind of young. Nah, mate.
Ian Fleming was his step cousin.
Step cousin.
So...
Did you know Tolkien was also like pretty important in the war?
How so?
He served as a code breaker because he spoke like, I think, 7 languages. So he was really good at intercepting communications and like cracking codes in different languages and understanding like what messages were being sent by different countries.
Fair enough.
He was like super fascinated in language. It's one of the reasons that he went on to literally write like 3 fully fleshed out languages. Because the he spoke 7 languages isn't including the languages he created. I think he spoke like French, German, Italian, Spanish, others. Should we find out? ADHD. What languages did Tolkien speak? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I was a bit off.
Slightly.
He spoke English, Spanish, French, Latin, Old English, German, Greek, Welsh, Dutch, Russian, Danish, Finnish, Norwegian, Middle English, Old Norse, Gothic, and Old Icelandic.
Oh.
How many languages did Tolkien create? He created 15 languages.
Jesus Christ.
Or at least 15 known, like, fully fleshed out languages. Fucking hell. Insane. Insane. I feel like no one has achieved, like, half of what Tolkien achieved since.
Mm.
You know, there's one man that came pretty close. His name was Gary Gygax. But yeah, I believe there was also like a authors society that Tolkien was a part of, where he was friends with like the author of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and like the author of Alice in Wonderland. I'm pretty sure they were all friends. Or it might have just been the latter two that were friends. I can't remember. Because they might have come after. I cannot remember. It would make sense given that The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is set in like World War II. Haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Nah, me neither. I've not watched the last one.
Which one was the last one?
The Dawn Treader?
The Dawn Treader. I have once. It's got Eyebrows Kid in it. I can't remember his name, but if you look up Eyebrows actor, he comes
Oh,
up.
yeah. Will Poulter.
Will Poulter, that's the one. He was in Maze Runner. Pill Walter. Are we talking about Narnia? Yeah. We are. The first one is called The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
There was actually a book before The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Was there?
Yeah, I read a bit of it. Yeah, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is number 2 in the...
Oh, what was the first one?
It was... I read a bit of it.
What was it called? Was it just called Narnia? Was it about the same characters?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so, because the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is how they discover Narnia, right?
It is called...
I never knew that there was one before. Clearly not as popular. there are a lot of Narnia books. I think there's 4, like, mainline, including the one George is trying to find. There's Narnia, there's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, there's Prince Caspian, there's The Dawn Treader. Was there another one? Was there, like,
Magician's
The White
Nephew?
Witch? The Magician's Nephew?
Oh. Huh, apparently... Oh, okay.
What?
I'm getting conflicting information.
Oh.
Because I am, like, 99% sure that Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was number 2. And I'm seeing places that are saying it's number 1, and places are saying that The Magician's Nephew is number 1.
I have never heard of The Magician's Nephew.
I may be misremembering it because I was pretty sure that Prince Caspian was book number 4, but it's not.
No, Caspian's 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Caspian is in The Dawn Treader.
But I thought, like, I seemingly misremembered that it was like the first one, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, then another one, then Prince Caspian, then goes on from there. But like, it seemed like the odd numbered ones didn't focus around like that group. I'm misremembering potentially.
I will help you in your search. You need to read those. You watch those movies way too much. It's like my duty at this point. They were good movies. The first one was good. The second one was pretty good. The third one was a bit eh.
Oh, apparently Magician's Nephew is number 6. I'm misremembering then. I'm spreading misinformation. Because I am...
So, based on year of release,
Yeah.
it's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe,
Wardrobe,
Prince
Prince
Caspian,
Caspian,
Voyage
Dawn
of the
Treader,
Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair.
Silver Chair, Horse and His Boy, Magician's Nephew, Last Battle.
Yeah, I've not heard of half of those. I've only heard of the first 3.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling, because by Prince Caspian, it was still the main 3 trio, and then
4 of them.
Huh?
There were 4. There's 4 siblings.
Oh yeah, 2 brothers and 2 sisters. You're right.
Yeah.
4 of them.
It's like, I'm not spreading misinformation about that. I know that one's
you're,
true.
You're right. You're right. I just forgot about one of the sisters. Yeah, Prince Caspian's still the main 4. Then the third one, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, it's just the 2 younger siblings.
Yeah.
So
Because,
it
like,
wouldn't
the older
surprise
2 are
me-
too old to go back to Narnia.
Yeah. And then
I remember that scene in Prince Caspian where he was like, I shall hold on to it until, like, I shall hold on to your sword until the next time you come here. And they were like, well, that's just the thing. Ugh.
But in Dawn Treader, their cousin joins.
Fair.
But it's by accident and none of them like him. But, you know, he has character growth. Both metaphorically and literally, he gets turned into a dragon, so he grows quite a lot. So it wouldn't surprise me if, like, by like book 5, the main, like, the last 2 siblings are no longer there. You preferred 3 to 2, bruh. Next, you'll be telling me that you liked Percy Jackson 2 more than Percy Jackson 1. The answer is that neither of them were good.
I enjoyed the first Percy Jackson film.
I also low-key actually did, but I rewatched it,
Hmm.
and also it's really unfaithful to the book.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's the Percy Jackson show that came out very recently.
And it's good. It's really good.
Fair. I've not watched it, but I've heard it's good.
Yeah, well, for one, Rick Riordan, the author, is actually involved in it.
Hmm.
So he was like actually involved with the casting of characters and stuff. Because he basically wasn't involved in the movies at all. In fact, if I recall, he read the script and hated it.
Hmm.
That's a huge series now as well. There's like a bunch of spin-off series about it as well. I still think we need some Aragon movies that aren't the one that we had. Although, in all honesty, that Aragon movie, it might just be nostalgia speaking, but I didn't think the Aragon movie was that bad. But, you know, maybe I should rewatch it and maybe I'll change my mind. Having read the books now. You were the worst type of mythology nerd because you got introduced to it by reading the Odyssey, so you were even more annoying than the PJO fans.
I mean, I probably got into Greek myth because of fucking Hades, so I have no leg to stand on. Like I knew of it and I enjoyed it before, but Hades is what like got me fully into it.
If you ever want a really good Norse mythology book, oh god, I've forgotten the author's name. He wrote Sandman.
Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman.
I have Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology.
Do you? It's a good
yeah.
book. It's a really good book.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I was going to say something and I've forgotten what it was. Stuff and things. But yeah, the Aragon books.
Sorry.
What were you
Yeah,
saying?
go on. I was just gonna give a recommendation for my favorite book again.
Do
Because
it.
I think everyone should fucking read it. Kings of the Wild.
I need
Oh
to
my god,
actually put it on my list.
Kings of the Wild is so fucking good. And there's a sequel that I've got to read.
Yeah, I will die on the hill that the two book series that really need proper, like, at this point, TV show adaptations, but I will settle for movie adaptations, are The Inheritance cycle, the Aragon books, and Skullduggery Pleasant. Skullduggery Pleasant goes so fucking hard.
Yeah, dude.
Cowards, you'll read the Edda, get the wrong one, and suffer like every other Nordic myth nerd. I do want to read Edda, but I don't know if I'll make it through it. Then again, I read the Silmarillion, so what at this point can I not get through? I'm also, reading the entire horror... Well, I'm not reading the entire Horus Heresy, but I'm reading the Horus Heresy, so... Do you think in the Japanese translation of English books they add Japanese honorifics? Horus Senpai.
Horus Senpai.
Horus Senpai. We give we give pronouns to fantasy nouns from English books, so why not? Fulgrim-chan. Honestly, coming from a relatively ungendered language, I still find giving gendered pronouns to objects a weird concept. What makes a key, male/female? I think, is key a female in French and male in German? I believe Bashimi will probably be able to tell me. Une clé. It's female, yeah. But it was so a study was done on how the perception of objects is changed by the gender of pronouns they're given. So when asked to describe a key, the answer that was given by French people was very different to German people, because French people used very feminine terms and talked about how the craftsmanship and how intricate and delicate they were, whereas Germans talked about how heavy and iron and strong they were. but the like public perception of the item changed depending on like the gender of it, which is weird. You have frequent disagreements about what gender certain words, and it's purely based on feelings. Just get rid of any. Is there a genderless pronoun in French? Just normalize using genderless for everything. I should learn French. Do you think it would cause problems to learn French and Japanese at the same time?
Maybe.
EL is the official neutral, but people are still stingy and dickheads about it. Sounds about right.
I was gonna say, why is that?
Do you want to know a fun stat about learning languages, George? So if you were to dedicate your time to learning a language full time, so as if you were working a full-time job, just learning a language, it would take you, as an English speaker, 22 weeks to learn French. Guess how many weeks it would take you to learn Japanese?
I don't know how many.
In the 50s.
Oh.
More than double.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just to be considered proficient, so not like fluent, but like you can get by in a conversation. So that's fun. It's been in the dictionary since 2012 and people still act like it's a 2020 woke trend. Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's the same with
Fucking they. My parents have a dictionary in the house from, I think, the 1940s. It might be the 60s. It's a really old dictionary anyway. And in that dictionary, it mentions using they as a singular. Because it's always been a thing in the English language. But no, it's woke nonsense. Grumble, grumble. I'm like the opposite of a jaded old man. I'm jaded at old men. At least they as a singular is as old as the th for the sound, but in France it's a relatively new thing. Were there really no, like, gender neutral pronouns before then? Because that does surprise me. But I guess just assigning... Also, like... Just learning to speak as a child, you just have to learn the correct pronouns to give to objects. It's just a weird thing to just, like, need to learn. And if you say it wrong, it's just like, oh, that sounded weird. You just called a chair he. But then as an English speaker, it would be really weird if someone pointed to a chair and went, he's a chair. Instead of it's a chair. sweet home. Lie on my back. We do get shamed for basic mistakes in French, like people are so toxic about French. That's one of the things with language learning and choosing a language is like Japanese. If you learn Japanese, Japanese people are like super respectful and like grateful about you learning their language. But then like Western languages, like English especially, is so toxic to people that aren't English. But they're like, English speakers are like, how dare you not speak English in my country to people that don't speak English? And then when those people do speak English, they're like, how dare you speak English wrong? But yeah, I feel like Western language learning is just like, all Western countries are like, fuck you for learning my language and getting it wrong. How dare you? Whereas in Japan, you'll be like, konnichiwa, and they'll be like, oh my god, you speak Japanese so well.
Nihongo Jozu.
Nihongo Jozu! Sugoi! It's a bourgeoisie thing, like shitting on South accents and more on the streets lingo, if that makes sense. Yeah. It does. It do. I mean, you very much did get that in British culture as well, like, oh, I could never possibly say ain't. What, a glottal T? How dare you? Although, to be fair, my parents were even like that a bit. There will be no dropping T's in this household. It's a very British sentence, that. You could interpret it multiple ways as well, and it would still be British. Do you know what I mean by the glottal T, George?
Yeah. Vaguely. I watched like a Tom Scott video.
Oh, does he talk about it there?
Yeah, because he used to do a lot of videos on like language.
Yeah. For context, Bashimi, it's literally like, what's a good word as an example? What words end with T?
Street.
In it. What did you
In
say?
it. I just said street because it's the first thing I saw.
Yeah, street or street. Street or street.
Street.
Street. In it or in it. I always hated in it as a word as well. Especially the way that it was used, though. I don't think I would have disliked it as much if it was used in a way that made grammatical sense. Because it was used as like... It literally, it's a short for isn't it, right?
Yeah.
But it would be used as a term of like agreement. So someone would say something and someone that agreed with it would go, in it?
In it.
That doesn't make any sense. That always annoyed me. Also, people... I'm just gonna talk about weird, like, English language things now. Some specific people would pronounce LOL, the word lol, as if it ended with a W. I don't know if that was just a
Lol.
very Portsmouth thing, but a lot of people would say lol.
Oh, lol.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I heard it a lot when we were in secondary school.
Lol.
Just a lot of people would be like, lol. I think it's a very Pompey thing.
Like
The word Pompey.
or mush.
Mush. Squinny. I love Portsmouth slang though, because some of it's so good. Lol. No, without even the L on the end for shimmy, just lol. Like, it ends with an L, not a W.
Lol.
But yeah, my parents were quite particular about language. Like, the letter H.
Not putting the h at the
There's no
start of
H
it.
in H. They were really particular about that.
I mean, in theory, there would be the letter H in H.
Yeah,
because
later on in the word
CH.
H.
Yeah.
I know. This was also a thing that I used to say as a rebellious teenager. Rebelling against my parents teaching me to be well spoken. I blame them for my weird bastardized accent. I don't sound like I come from anywhere.
That combined with how much we used to speak with a northern accent in school just was funny.
Up north. Jon Snow!
Like in GCSE art class when we had permanent northern accent. It was a weird adjustment period when I moved up to Nottingham. Like, getting
When
used to
people
hearing all that.
spoke like that, just normally.
You know, to be honest, the first accent that I like properly heard, that I interacted with in Nottingham, was actually a Brummie accent. Because it was one of my dorm mates was from Birmingham.
At the aquarium I work at now, one of the rangers, she has quit now. She moved back up north, but she was from up north. Had a proper thick up north. From up north. I think she was from Birmingham.
Birmingham.
We joke about Australian accents, but y'all are so much worse from my perspective. It depends.
The Aussie accent is fun.
Some of our accents are worse. Like Scouse.
Chicken, a can of Coke.
But then you've got like the really hardcore like street Aussie. Which is like, I don't know, just incomprehensible. Unintelligible. Oh, there's I've been watching a few videos from a Japanese channel recently, who talks about cultural differences in the West compared to Japan, and like things that aren't considered insulting here that are over there, and that kind of thing. Like a big one is eye contact is like a very different thing. It's kind of considered disrespectful to make eye contact with someone in a conversation. They'll quite often not hold eye contact. But another thing is like raising your chin at someone. Like I think over here it's quite common as a bit of a nod, just be like, "You're right," and just like tilt your head back a bit, you know. But raising your chin at someone in Japan is like you're looking down at them, like you consider them pathetic, you know. And this channel, she was talking about how she was in uni, studying. I can't remember where, but there was an Australian person in her dorm, and he was like a really tall, bearded man, like bald head, beard, like 6'4". And she walks past him and he just looks her dead in the eyes, tilts his head back and says, "Go die."
Oh, shit.
And she was like, I was terrified. I thought I was going to have to fight for my life. Like, I thought I was going to die, you know? This was a terrifying experience. And then I talked to a friend afterwards who was like, he's Australian. That was
he
a
said
greeting.
good day. Good day.
He went, "G'day,"
Good day.
and that was just a greeting, and that he's a very nice person. I found that quite funny. So yeah, and also there's a lot of things that are different in Japan. So like, over here, perfumes to make you smell nice are quite common.
Yeah.
In Japan, most deodorants and perfumes are like odorless, and their purpose isn't to make you smell nice, it's to make you not smell at all. And it's because they have, I can't remember what the term was, but basically a term that's like being assaulted by smells, and it's considered like disrespectful to like smell strongly of anything. Autism win. Yeah, a lot of stuff like that in Japan is like, are Japanese people just autistic? So like, especially if you're in a restaurant, smelling really strong is like a big no-no, because it's like smell is quite a big part of food, so you're ruining other people's experience with food. Like, some things sounded great, you know, going to the cinema, everyone's super quiet. Like, even when it comes to eating food, everyone is really careful to make no noise when eating food. Meanwhile, in the UK, you've got people sat, like, directly behind you going...
Yeah.
You know, someone sat behind you in the cinema practicing the angel grapefruit technique. Another one was chewing gum is considered quite insulting. It's like a sign that you're not listening to someone. So like in workplaces or like school settings, if you're chewing gum, it's like a big no-no. There's just a lot of stuff like that. It's quite an interesting channel to watch. She's very funny as well. She always opens her videos with memes. Quite often JoJo memes. So she always opens them with like a joke that's obviously not true. But one of them was like, you know, in the West, if you accidentally walk in on someone who is in the bath, you very quickly apologize, avert your eyes, and leave. But in Japan, you go, and then it's just a clip from JoJo where he's like, "Mind if I join?" But yeah, it's interesting. People are very indirect in Japan as well. Like, instead of, if someone asks you if you want to like go out, go to the pub or something, instead of saying no, you'd kind of be like, oh, I might be busy. And then they would immediately be like, oh, it's okay, don't worry. There's just a lot of like avoiding actually saying things in Japanese culture. I also learnt the word for ambulance in Duolingo.
Oh.
It's actually really fun. I love when Japanese words have onomatopoeia. The Japanese word for ambulance is kyukyushin.
Pew. Yeah, that's,
Kyu-kyu.
that's
Korean restaurants versus Japanese ones is the funniest shit I've ever seen. It's so loud in Korea, and then you see Japan and it's like a library in there. Yeah. But I think I've talked about it on stream before, but like there's some really interesting cultural things with Japan in regards to like, so Japan is very collectivist, which means a huge part of Japanese culture is fitting in, being very similar to other people, not standing out. But then things like idol culture are like insanely huge in Japan. And I find that a really interesting, like, total disconnect. Because it's almost seen as bad to stand out, but then also they absolutely worship idols and they're, like, absolutely huge, and people that are different and stand out are, like, massive. It's weird. It's interesting. And also they have gendered trains in Japan.
Yeah.
Which, as a method for protecting women, is a good thing. Hello. Go pee. That's a toxicity of its own, IMO, the conflict avoidance, but yeah, there are quite a good few things there. Yeah, conflict avoidance is like, you have to be able to read when someone is actually genuinely busy and doesn't want to do something versus like is if they want to do it but are busy versus just don't want to do it. You have to be able to try and tell that, which is like an autistic's nightmare.
Yeah.
I could definitely see myself being branded as the like stereotypical noisy gaijin. I'm a very loud person. On the flip side of the eye contact thing, in Germany, it's not considered rude to stare. And apparently it's really off-putting because you're like, if you visit Germany, you'll sit on a bus or like train or something and a person will just be literally just like staring at you. And to anyone else, that's not weird. you're too fidgety for Japanese standards, so you won't fit in, even though I'm very quiet. I don't know. It depends, though, to be honest. As a foreigner, you'd probably be fine. Because I think there's an element of like, oh, they're just not from Japan. I feel like foreigners get away with a lot more stuff than like a Japanese person would.
Yeah.
I think PewDiePie lives in Japan now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's quite a common place for YouTubers to move to, because you don't have to engage in Japanese working culture.
Workplace culture, yeah.
But you, and also I think your money goes a bit further. Like the cost of living isn't as high.
Yeah, apparently it's like if you are eating like nicely, it's cheaper to eat out a lot of the time than to cook your own food.
Damn.
From what I've heard. This is from what I've heard through Trash Taste, and they live in Japan.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And have been living there for like years.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like YouTubers that move there basically avoid a lot of the toxic parts of the culture and just get like the benefits. Whereas it's one of those things where it's like, as a normal person that would want to move to Japan would probably have a much harder time.
Yeah.
Did I tell you there were some people that I'm pretty sure were Japanese at the aquarium I work at?
No.
But it was... So, I didn't really talk to them, but they were Asian. Like, visibly Asian. Their clothes had Japanese writing on, which was the main thing that I was like, right, so I'm pretty sure they're Japanese. They had a very Japanese like dress sense and had some Japanese like some items that you'd only get either in Japan or a Japanese import store, you know, like some like dolls type things, like some cuddly toys you'd only get in Japan or an imported store. So I was pretty sure they were Japanese, and I really wanted to go up to them and welcome them to the aquarium in Japanese, because I thought that would be a really nice thing. They'd probably appreciate that. But I didn't, because the risk that they weren't Japanese and that I would just go up to some people that looked Asian and just spoke Japanese to them was too high that I was not going to risk doing that.
Yeah.
Because I did not want that to horrifically backfire. Like, the worst thing would just be if I went up to them and was like, "Oh, yokoso," and they were just like, "What? Huh? You what, mate?" Oh, that's another difference between the West and Japan. Saying "huh," like, it's quite common in English. If you mishear someone or you just didn't hear something right, you say "huh." That's like really insulting in Japan. That's like you're looking at someone, you're going, "You stupid? You fucking dumbass." So you don't do that. You don't say "huh." This fire still hasn't fully dried in the cracks. I don't think we're going to be continuing the fire in this stream. Remember, folks, paranoia and anxiety isn't all bad. Like, it would have been a really nice moment if they were Japanese, but if they weren't Japanese, it would be the most awkward moment of my life.
Yeah.
It's almost 10 o'clock already.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I've got work tomorrow. Disgusting. Who decided that working was a good idea? Oh. Dies. Hello. You know, dox your workplace on stream.
I can't see it.
They can't now.
I will use the cat to hide the piece of work.
Bushibi says hi.
Hello.
I don't.
Place of work because I have a cat.
I don't say hi.
George doesn't say hi.
I should really go eat some dinner.
You should get dinner for who?
Myself.
Yourself. Oh.
Literally not eating anything.
It sounded
today.
like you said I should really get you some dinner, and I thought you were talking to me or the cat. This stupid creature. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Can confirm Bashimi our cat is liquid.
Tickling my nose.
Yeah? Get bigger, bro.
And then we'll get another cat and it'll be even bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're planning on. So we're gonna get Artemis spayed when she's a bit older. Like, she just needs to grow a little bit more, and then we'll get her spayed. And then once she's healed, we're planning on getting a Maine Coon.
Oh, fair.
And Maine Coons are humongous. Like, I knew they were big, but when we were visiting my parents, one of my parents' neighbors has a Maine Coon, and they like brought us over to have like say hi to the cat. This cat was huge. Like, the Maine Coons are walking the line between being a domestic cat and being a big cat. It was like, I feel like any larger and it would be a palace cat.
Honestly. I reckon they're the same size as house cats.
You Gumby. Are you Gumby? You being held against your will. Dumbo. Dumbo Wumby.
Anything like no effort.
Dumbo Wumby.
We were doing postmortems on sharks today in the golf course. And one of the sharks we cut open its stomach and it had a shark egg inside its stomach. And we were like, what the fuck? Why did you do that?
I love your undone fly with a bit of your shirt sticking out of it, by the way.
Stream can't see it.
I don't think it's visible on stream.
Yeah, so you have to bring it up. Because I'm I'm about to take my trousers off to go to bed.
It's just quite funny.
Yeah, strangers need to... Oh my god.
Just an
Strangers
undone
need to
fly with just a
know.
bit of t-shirt just sticking out of it.
We did not need to know the shade.
You don't have a Maine Coon, but you do have above average size cat, and it's something else to have them sleep on you. Artemis
below
already suffocates us. Yeah, she's actually small for a ragdoll. Oh, rude. This camera is better, by the way. Yeah, the phone camera for painting is much better. It's less grainy, like it does better in the lighting conditions. Your vet thinks, oh, well, what?
Rebecca, Helen, all being...
Unhinged.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, that's probably a good time to end the stream. Being as it is now 1 to 10.
Egg.
Kind of tired. Don't want to go to work tomorrow. That's rude. Anyway, thank you for watching. Mainly Bashimi. I have a cat on me. And thank you for joining me, George. And as
No
always,
worries.
same time next week. What are you doing?
I'm breaking the chair.
Same time next week.
Ah.
Goodbye.